Okay, everybody. Next, I'm bringing on Bridget Renee Holliday, and we've had her on Portal to Ascension quite a few times now. And this is actually perfect. I didn't even really plan it like this, Bridget, for you to come right after I did a presentation on the regression you gave me. So we've already kind of given you some validation here and confirmation of how amazing your work is. And so, everybody, you're going to get to experience Bridget Renee Holliday. She's a starseed, channel, multidimensional medium. Her star lineages include Palladian, Syrian, Arcturian, Lyran, Andromedan, amongst others. She's an international beyond quantum healing hypnosis practitioner and awakening and ascension mentor who specializes in mentoring star seeds in their ascension journey. When working with star seeds, she helps them remember who they are and they have trained lifetimes for what they're here to do. This includes discovering where they're from, what their specializations are, conscious expansion, and embracing deep relationships with the cosmic star families. She's an ascension contact specialist, galactic ambassador for the Galactic Federation, and has been communicating with collective of beings, angels, high guides, dragons, since birth. Her childhood and teenage years and other groups and collective began to come forth over time. Before long, she was communicating with ascended masters, other beings of light, high ancestors, elementals, amongst others. And she, as you know, creates amazing journeys, regression journeys for individuals, and really has helped me piece together parts of my life. I would say that the regression I had with Bridget was a milestone in my ability to connect. I mean, now I'm channeling the light language and using it for my own meditation practice, which is really powerful. So I'm so excited for you all to get an opportunity to connect with Bridget. So come on, Bridget. I think you're on now. So go ahead and start your camera. Hey there.
Hi. I thought for sure you did that on purpose. That's hilarious that you didn't plan it.
No,
It's
the
all
universe
divine
always plans
timing.
it. Yeah, exactly. It's good
That's
to see you.
amazing. It's so good to see you. I love you so much.
I
And
love you
that
too.
journey, you guys, seriously,
Yeah,
that journey, I did not expect that. I for sure thought that Neil was going to get like all the starseed specific galactic origins information, which you did,
yeah,
but in an angle that I did not expect. And that's the
right.
beauty of these. That's really the magic of these.
Which is why it's so much more profound for me. Is
Mm-hmm.
first of all, I've thought about reptilians, but I've never even considered having a dragon connection. So for it to go so off anything I could even imagine, just makes me realize that it makes it more valid in my mind.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. These are amazing. If you guys have been thinking about one, if you find a practitioner that you can spend hours with, I like to take a long time on these because there's so
Yeah.
much information. But someone that you really resonate with, I'm happy to do that with whoever. But I am so excited about this conference. Neil, you and Flo, I love you too, Flo. And all the presenters, I'm just really excited about all of this energy. And I have to say, this morning when I woke up, it was like all the dragons in existence were focused on us and what we're doing here and the energies of this, and they kept coming through, and I had a whole like bullet point of what I was going to do, and it all got shifted this morning because I was like, maybe I'll talk about this and then I'll talk about that. And another commonality with Neil, with your presentation and your experience in the Beyond Quantum Healing Hypnosis session that we did together, was that in mine that I received all of my dragon information. I got one from a really close friend. The first thing that I came into, and I had totally forgotten about this until I listened back to it, was me and another dragon consciousness in consciousness form, basically experiencing ourselves in oneness, in a deep, deep, deep connection, just going through space and all of the cosmic and ethereal existence. And I was like, this is wild because I believe you opened up with you and your dragon counterpart too, right? So, one thing, I don't know why I just brought that up, but I just think it was awesome. So one thing that was coming through is they really want to emphasize the speciesism, right? Neil touched on it so beautifully. And I just want to say, for all of you people that love dragons, but are really hating on reptilians, look at your own consciousness. Look at the consciousness of the planet. Look at all of our experiences and take a deep dive on this. Why? Why are we feeling this way? Why do we buy into the narratives of the us and them? And how can we bring that back into wholeness within ourselves and allow all of those frequencies to really come together and be elevated with the light of our soul. So I'm not a speciesist at all. I know that we all incarnate across the board as all different things, and not always incarnation. We have lots of lives and expressions throughout dimensional existence, but also beyond and within, right? We talk about sometimes the within. There are even lives and expressions in, maybe not so much lives, but there are expressions in the atomic and subatomic as well. So we have all of this plethora of choice that our soul incarnates us through. And for many of us, we exist as reptilian, as dragon, all over. The cool thing about dragons, and we asked this, I'll let Neil tell this part. He's probably going to say that for his reptilian conference, but there's a very poignant question that I ask and receive an answer. And it's asking them about a label that we have here that is getting a lot of really negative play in the consciousness communities. And their answer was yes, but you could feel the resistance to the energy that label has here in their answer. It was so pivotal in that moment for me to really identify that in our oneness, everyone experiences what we do here within our own consciousness and as a collective. And labels that we give other beings have a ripple effect. Frequency is everything in our multidimensionality. It is who we are at the core essence of our being. And when we take a beautiful group of beings who you've just heard through Flo and Neil are giving us all of this support and guidance, and we are them, they are us, and we label them in a way that says other than, we're just playing in the programming, the veils, the illusions of forgetting and separation. And in this existence right now, we have this beautiful ability to change what it means to be human in the earth experience. And we've chosen this time, this moment in the timeline, so to speak. Time is kind of a wobbly thing, but we've chosen this moment to do that. And we radiate and ripple those changes out into the collective. And we do it throughout all time, dimension, space, reality, throughout all ancestral and heritage lineages. So we do it to everyone who it is appropriate and in the highest, right? So these lives and expressions are receiving that. So the ability to do that, think about the opposite end of the coin, right? The other side of the coin, when we're playing in that dense duality and polarity, we are also radiating that out to these other aspects of soul, these other aspects of source, these other aspects of consciousness. And with the dragons, they've been in existence before this universal expression, just like a lot of us have. And they have been assisting and guiding and supporting, not only on a one-on-one basis, but also collectively, universally, and in all of these different experiences and expressions that we have and that we play a role in multidimensionally. We'll call it the soul stream of our soul has existences and expressions as that. So, oh, that was Neil. I'm a little blurry right now, so if you guys see me squint as I'm reading. Thanks, Rachel. It's me. I've been in a lot of different computer things lately, so my eyes are a little blurry. But one thing that really came through in my session, I was experiencing, my high self has lots of jokes with me. So I wanted to know about my Andromedan expressions, and I wanted to know about my connection with dragons. And the connection with dragons has been in my life. And I really had a lot of this come in also during Neil's session. That's the beauty of these collaborations and co-creations, is that they illuminate both the practitioner and the person who is experiencing it. And when he was in the part about the dragons coming in with children and how that incarnation connection happens, I started remembering, all these memories started pouring in, flooding in, just one after the other. And I started remembering all of these moments in my early life, very, very young, where I had these energies around me, and it came to me that they were dragons. And I was like, oh, that makes sense, right? That makes total sense. It feels like them. I just hadn't thought of these things in a really long time. But in my session, when I was experiencing those thousands and thousands and thousands of lives simultaneously, my high self would kind of push me into like a focal point, while all of the other ones were going on. This is why I say they have jokes, because I at first was like, can I do this? There's so much information. And you learn, yes, you can. You just relax and let it be. But in this one particular expression, one of the first ones I came into, I recognized the world, the planet, so to speak. And I'll use the word planet loosely. That's how things were translating for me. But I recognized it through consciousness traveling that my soul team collective, my travel guides, started doing with me when I was a teenager. And this one particular world is so breathtaking. It's so different than what we have here. But in these sessions, often your consciousness will translate materials and textures and things into things that are recognizable for us so that we have something to perceive. And this world, it's like it's made of sand, but everything comes to these really tall peaks, almost like the top of a meringue pie before they curl it, right? Or if you take a cloth napkin and pull it up in the center. So it comes to all of these really beautiful peaks all over the place, all different heights. But the sky is like this ombre that starts deep around the earth and then gets really light up top, this ombre of different colors. And everything is energy. And I just want to take you on this journey for those of you that might have been there before, or had expressions here. You can go with me and feel the textures and the colors and the vibrancy of everything, because it holds less physicality and more of our lighter, higher, ethereal energetics, so to speak. And when I first came in, I looked like a very interesting, like extraterrestrial or interdimensional being. I had a super long neck. And I remember thinking, oh, this is very strange looking in a good way, right? I like strange. So I had this super long neck and almost like a kind of a tall white kind of vibe mixed with like a gray. So my head was super round and I had a really pointy chin. So my face was like really long compared to them. And I had these huge eyes, of course. And I look around and there are hundreds of dragons just flying all over everywhere. And this is normal. And I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And all this information starts coming in about how we interact with them. And that dragons, their parents are involved in their upbringing, so to speak, right? But that there are lots of other beings who play a role in that as well because of what they're here, their intention is in their existence and how they interplay with this universal expression and all of the different ways that we come in and experience that, right? And in this one, I'm feeling really connected. These dragons are what I would call juvenile. They're not quite teenagers. They'd probably be like preteens to us. Now, that doesn't mean that they're human years at all. In fact, dragons they've been around as long as what I experience the mantis beings being around for. So, and time is not really a thing, but they're in their juvenile phase, and we play with them and we train with them. And what was coming through is something that I had already been told by dragons, but it was really emphasized that they come into existence with the wisdom and knowledge of all dragons at any moment, right? So they have access to what we would consider past, present, and future information. It is all there with them, but they still have a maturation process where they mature over time. And well, not time, but they still mature. We'll just say time because it's easier. Because this multidimensional stuff can get really confusing. So I'll use the time label. You guys know to hold it loosely. But they mature over over their longevity, and they don't have an end. They don't have an end like we consider ends here on earth. There is no death for them. What they have is transformation, and that only comes through choice. So they can transform into other existences when they decide that they are complete with that particular one. And this is actually something that's very common for us when we experience ourselves in many layers of dimensionality simultaneously without the illusions of forgetting and separation. And dragons are a part of that. They have that same sort of, I choose what I am expressing and experiencing. There's a sovereignty in it, right? An understanding of how these expressions and the service work that they do, because they are in service very much in this universe and beyond. They do exist beyond dimensional expression, which came through as well. But that all becomes very clear, right? So as I'm in this moment with actually a higher aspect of my Andromedan soul stream, so to speak, they are all expressing this together. So I know, I think it was it Neil or Flo mentioned the Andromedan connection with dragons, and that came through in my session as well. And I wanted to just highlight that because the aspect of speciesism that we have here and the truth of how we are all interconnected and we are all of these beings, right? There's such a juxtaposition with it. And the invitation is really just to bring it together in the wholeness and recognize that these labels and these stories that we're producing do have some root in our galactic history, but it doesn't have to be rooted in this now moment unless we bring it in through the resonance that we have within our own consciousness. And that was kind of a little segue channeled through message that just came in. But there's been so many experiences with the dragons where they really talk to me about how we interplay with one another. They express how, and I'll just bring through something else from one of my journeys, one of my BQH journeys, another part. In this, I've talked about these particular beings, I think in another, it might have been even a portal to ascension event. We are not human, but we are humanoid. And when I first saw them, they had sort of a similarity to Pleiadians, and I asked about it. And as I asked about the Pleiadian connection, it came through very clearly. No, this is not one of the Pleiadian races, because there are many, or species within the race. But they were much taller, like much taller than a Pleiadian would be. And they were super muscular. They had this sort of wildling kind of vibe going, with like braids and twists and things that were translating into like feathers and jewels, even though I knew they were very different. And they had this like molded saddle on the dragon that had no steering technology whatsoever in it. It was just kind of like a molded saddle with this big piece behind it and in front of it of whatever that material was that was translating into a really thick hide. And they were so bonded with the dragons, but not just the one that they were in connection with in that way. They were also bonded with everyone else, and their emotional bodies are so much bigger than ours, so much bigger than a Pleiadian. And the oneness aspect of it was so beautiful. There was this, and I'm getting to the point that connects in just a second, but everything that we did was at the inception of a thought. It was like this beautiful, deep consciousness communication and connection that even the flight and the movement of the dragon, we knew everything. We were in sync in every way, and we were all communicating with each other. And as we were playing with them, because it was all about training through play, dragons are very playful. This is something that is not spoken enough about, I think, in the consciousness community. They have this huge joy side to them that loves to play and loves to interact, even what we would consider adult dragons, right? So we're doing all of these crazy acrobatic movements as they're dipping and flying. And then I start to observe that the dragons, this is where it connects, the dragon's head is solid, like in a corporeal form. And as I turned to do a kind of flip, I look back at the tail of the dragon, and it is like this water, wind, fire energy movement that has sparkles coming off of it. And this is something that was a common theme in there. Dragons are not bound to one density. They can go even in one particular plane of existence. They can go at will between corporeal and non-corporeal form to the point that it is consciousness form. And it's not as delineated as we think of with our own multidimensionality within our star-seededness, so to speak, or walk-in. Or hybrid, don't want to forget you guys, but they can actually do it at will in any moment, wherever they are. And there is nothing, like it takes nothing for them. It's innate in them. It's natural for them to be able to do this. So I loved Neil's question earlier where he was like, I don't know if they're in physicality anymore. And my answers that I've received in this is yes and no, right? It depends on what moment that dragon's in and how they're playing in their own existence. And it kept coming through that all of the beings, all of us who are these beings that work very closely with them and love them and are them in other expressions, that many of us have the ability to do that as well. And that's why we work with them. That's why we are so cohesive and congruent in their lifespan. I'll use that loosely with the air quotes, but we're able to do that as well. And I did observe us moving in and out of corporeal form with them as they did, and it was a natural thing. We didn't have to go, oh, we're shifting gears. No, it just happened. And I feel like there's a remembrance in that for us to remember that yes, we are in these beautiful, beautiful, dense physical bodies. And we also have this beautiful, beautiful ethereal aspect to us. And all within the human existence, all of us is in all of the different dimensions. Even this one particular expression experiences ourselves in all the different dimensions, just like a dragon does in any given moment, any given now that they're in, right? But what's really paramount for us right now that keeps coming through from my soul team collective, from the dragons, from everyone, the angelics, is really about integrating and anchoring all of this beautiful multidimensional wisdom and knowledge, all of those codes, keys, and frequencies, those specializations and masteries that we bring from all of our expressions, and integrating it into this human expression, anchoring it in, not in a way that we can't move around, but anchoring it into our human. That allows us to experience even more of our multidimensional knowingness. I like to call it the high knowingness of our soul, so that we are able to really bring in that remembrance, lifting those illusions of separation and forgetting. And every one of us that does this in any given now moment, we are bringing that into the collective. We are assisting with raising the frequency of this beautiful planet, of this beautiful collective collaboration that we're doing. So we get to really embrace our physicality. It's not about pushing out our third dimensional aspects of self. It's about bringing those parts of ourselves that we view as other than or less than or unworthy back into the wholeness. And the dragons are really big on this, you guys. They are all about sovereignty. They're much like the Lyrans in the sense that they come in with that deep courage wisdom, right? And that deep sovereign energy. And they bring it back into the wholeness, assisting us to remember who we are in that way, right? So there's a lot of inner work that comes through when we access this information, and when we bring, it's like a nudge to remember, a nudge to bring it into wholeness, a nudge. We could work on ourselves until the end of our lives and still feel like we have so much to work on. I love a good inner journey. I love inner work. I love all of these things, but it's also really important to take the time and embrace ourselves for who we are and where we are in this now moment, honoring everything that we've brought into this experience and expression, especially as it arises, right? And this is kind of channeling through a little bit from the dragons. I have some crystalline diamond rainbow light dragons, you guys probably call them diamond light, who are kind of channeling through right now with me. But they want to really bring through, since we're just going to shift gears on this story, they want to really bring through that each and every person on the planet, and you guys will be getting a lot of this through the presenters today, has access to dragons. And all of us that have that deep, deep, deep connection with them, you don't have to ask for anything. They will show up in your life every single time you need it. Anytime the information wants to come through, or the support, you're craving support in a particular way, your dragons direct their focal point of consciousness to you to assist you with whatever it is. I'm probably validating a lot of people right now who have had a lot of experiences with dragons, because in my life, I know I've experienced this, right? So as we're coming through, the dragons are just reminding us, we are always with you. We will always be there for you. You don't have to say, do this for me. We will come in and do it with you. There is nothing wrong with requesting, though. And they're bringing that through for people who may not even remember their connection with them, right? And they're saying they have a connection right now. They're bringing through that they have a connection with every single person on the planet that is incarnated right now and ever will be. So this brings through the information and validation again right now for what Neil was speaking about earlier, with how the incarnation process, connection rather, process with dragons happens. So they're saying each and every one of us in our infinite nature is connected to them in their infinite nature, and we are them in many of our expressions, soul expressions, so to speak. So I love this. I'm asking them if they want to bring anything else through right now. I don't know how much time I have left. Let me look at my time real quick. I think I end at 45 after, and it's 23 after, so we're good. So they want to bring in the ability to connect with them now. If you're not already doing it, if you are, they're just requesting step in, step out. This is a really simple name for something that my team utilizes to really bring in that one-on-one connection with our soul team collective and the beings who are guiding and assisting us. Usually they are simultaneous expressions of our soul. You guys think of them probably as guides plus. So within the soul team, they're saying everyone has dragons, even those of us that have them coiled in our hearts, as Neil so beautifully brought through. There are also additional dragons who will direct their focal point of consciousness to us for whatever we're going through and to assist and guide us. And they are part of that beautiful collective that we all have. So let's do a little bit of a frequency raising for this. It's going to be a really simple one. So if you can and are in a safe place to do this with us, go ahead and get in a comfortable position. I suggest just to sit up. This isn't going to be a deep, relaxing meditation, though you might feel relaxed during it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to breathe in the crystalline diamond rainbow light. And I like to describe it as that so that we kind of get the visual and the texture energetically of what this light is. I perceive this light as unconditional source love light. And with this light, it has the ability, because it is source intelligence, to purify, cleanse, recharge, do all of the things that we really heavily focus on in our starseededness and consciousness communities. So I just want to make sure, Neil, I'm okay to do this, right? I have until 40.
You have 20 minutes.
Okay, good. Perfect. So with this light, we're just going to start breathing it in with our air, and we're going to hold the intention that with each breath, we're breathing in 50 times more crystalline diamond rainbow light. You'll start to observe yourself feeling lighter and brighter, higher and finer as you do this. And with each exhale, this light is also like multiplying in the space around you, and it will continue to move and ripple out from you. And as you're breathing in this light, you might observe that every aspect of you begins to fill up quickly, really fast with this light. And we want to hold the intention and understanding that the light inside of our body to the outer layer of our skin becomes almost more and more tightly woven. All of the light in each cell begins to create this fabric of light until there is no space between it. And it becomes brighter and brighter and brighter. And then as a natural process, it begins to radiate out from us without diminishing the light in our body. And as we're breathing in this light, you might observe, if you look down with your eyes still closed, that all of your skin is emanating this light. Looking a bit deeper, all your muscles emanating this light. Going down to the bones and the blood, just look how everything is radiating, it's emanating into a cell. You can see that each cell, if you look at all of them, you can do that as well, is radiating this light. It's affecting us on a cellular level. But going within the cell, we can see that the mitochondria are emanating this light. Looking at the DNA, each segment of our DNA is lighting up. It's all emanating this light. The telomeres, the little tips of the DNA, are regrowing to the perfect, most appropriate length for them. You might even observe your DNA is being activated, your higher strands. That's very common working with this light. And then if you go even beyond that, you can see that this light is emanating from the atomic and subatomic levels, and even within that. And this light, you don't have to tell it to do anything. It just moves and travels and knows exactly where to go, exactly what to clear, exactly what to bring into balance and harmony, bringing us back into that state of wholeness that we already are, removing all of those illusions that we are anything other than wholeness in our divine infinite nature, focal pointed in this beautiful, dense expression. And now we're going to hold the intention that we raise our vibration. That's all it takes is an intention. Vibration is raising again. Let's raise it 20%. Feeling the molecules of our light begin to vibrate faster and faster and faster. Raise it another 20% to 40. Feeling everything in us. You might even feel it outside of you. You might start to feel star bumps or angel bumps or dragon bumps, we'll call that today, on your skin. Raising it another 20 to 60. Feel yourself zinging. Feel your vibration getting so high. Feel yourself expanding. If you want to keep going higher, you can. For now, we're going to bring in the dragons. They understand how this works. Everybody, they all know this. They created it. So the Soul Team Collectives created this experience. So with your eyes still closed, we're going to ask that all of the Soul Team Collectives, the beautiful high selves of every person who is in attendance and will ever receive this and this beautiful, beautiful event, to magnify and amplify for each human person. Thank you. And one another. And as we're doing this, we're asking Dragon number 1 to step in, touching nose to nose, step in swiftly and quickly, touching nose to nose. Even if you're the dragon that doesn't have a nose, that does happen. And we ask that you blend frequencies with your human person, turning the volume up, make it loud, clear, and obvious. Magnify 20%. And all of us, we are observing. We are observing our own energetics, what is happening physically, neutral observation, save the judgment and analysis for later. We are neutrally observing what is happening in our emotional field, our mental field, visually. What do you see, sense, know, hear, or feel? Turn the volume up again on your frequency. Step back just a moment. Give the illusion of stepping back so that all who are ready to receive visually can see you. Make your presence known loud and clear, very obvious. And for those who might be experiencing a dimness, let's go ahead and assist them with clarity, removing any illusions of blocks, perceived or non-perceived. Beautiful. Dragon number 1, we ask that you give the illusion of stepping your energy out quickly and swiftly, every last bit of you. And now we are observing again. Did that raise your vibration? Are you feeling a difference? Are you seeing a difference? Knowing, hearing? You can feel all your energy. So we'll give dragon number 2 stepping in quickly and swiftly, touching nose to nose, even if you don't have a nose, blending your frequencies fully and completely, turning the volume up, amplifying, magnifying, assisting with the clear channel to receive you. And we're observing. What do you see, feel, know, hear, sense? Give the illusion of stepping back a little so everyone can see that it's ready. What messages do you have for your human person today? Do you have any gifts for them? Any activations of the wisdom and knowledge they carry from life to life and expression to expression, as well as their connection to you, to dragons and the consciousness that is dragons? Dragon number 2, give the illusion of stepping all of your frequency out. I say illusion because we're always in oneness. And we're observing again. Did you feel that shift? How did you sense it? With your eyes still closed, I invite everyone's dragon team to encircle them in whatever space is appropriate for them. And as they're showing me what they're doing, each dragon is offering their breath of energetic fire to the heart of each of us as they are moving around us, encircling us in love. For some of you, I see that fire going all the way up your channel and out. If you're feeling that, beautiful. They're really activating you multidimensionally. For others, they're just wanting you to know that you are always loved and supported, guided and assisted in all of your journey. And they are always with you. Some of you might be feeling those of you that are activated, you might be feeling your Kundalini become a bit activated by this. Just remember to anchor it in. And the Andromedans are coming through. Give me just one moment to clear. People are working on their clear speech, so give me just one moment to help you clear. I can always feel that come up in my body. Anyone that would like to release not speaking your truth and step into the embodiment of speaking your truth in your divine neutrality, make that request now. The dragons will assist you. The Andromedans are coming through and they would like to offer some soothing, supportive frequencies in close connection with the dragon energies that we are all receiving and being activated with. Nishkemarai ala una kini ana, kina mushi ala arakini ya, unakashi ala u, inamashi ala una kini ya, unaki ala uraki, ina ala una ina ua, inakashi ala uai. Ina uraki ni ala uraki. Ina ashi ala urai. Thank you for receiving. The dragons are doing many activations as they are doing this, and anyone who would like to release anything that you might have adopted in from the collective or created that no longer resonates, we'll say, feel free to invite the fire dragons to come and assist you with burning it away. And they do it with love. Your bodies will probably feel really warm. It's interesting. We have Ascended Masters stepping in. I'm seeing Kuan Yin, no surprise there, bringing in the love. I'm seeing the Pleiadians. We are such a beautiful universal family, a galactic family, galactic, cosmic, ethereal family. I'm seeing a lot of blue energy coming in with Saint Germain. That's so beautiful. Everyone will receive exactly what is appropriate for you in this moment with the dragons. And my invitation to you is just to sit with open receptivity, observing what you are experiencing within any of the layers of your energetics, your physical, etheric, emotional, mental, spiritual. Bringing all of this in. We have the crystalline diamond rainbow light dragons as well. I'm seeing golden dragons. I'm seeing every kind of dragon that you can imagine. Some of you, like me, have a connection to those that have the crystalline diamond rainbow light, but they look like they have almost like energy metallic scales with feathers everywhere. I'm seeing lots of them. So if you're accessing that, what I like to call the unicorn energy within the dragon consciousness, that is amazing. And feel free to play with that. There's an invitation to, as we're integrating and anchoring, they're bringing through to really remember the joy within us. There is deep wisdom, sage knowingness within each of us that is multi-universal. And with this wisdom also comes the joy, the play, the fun, Dragons are a beautiful, beautiful combination of both. And they're inviting us to remember that we are too. That each and every one of us holds all of these codes, these keys, these frequencies within ourselves. For those of you that are experiencing your heart light, your soul light expand massively, this is an activation. And those of you that are not yet, it's okay. You can also request it to come in at any moment. You are not missing anything. Everything that our heart desires, our soul desires, all of our heart's desires are soul desires. They are divine inspiration. And it will always find its way in our life in divine timing. So the dragons are pulling back from each and every one of us into more of a horseshoe now. And I'm seeing them just connect heart to heart, soul to soul, consciousness to consciousness, honoring the source in each of us and our oneness unity connection. And as they are honoring this beautiful oneness in each of us, they are inviting us to do this with one another as well. So in this moment, and I will have all of us imagine, if you will, and you're in resonance, your higher heart chakra connecting with every single being, not just those of us that are in this experience together. Hold the intention that all the higher heart chakras of every human on the planet are connected, begin to become brilliant. And through this unity connection that we all share, step your ability to see, sense, know, and heal into a wider perspective. See, sense, know, hear, and feel into a wider perspective. Observe that unity within our higher heart chakra is connecting to all of the co-inhabitants that we share this beautiful planet with, connecting to our beautiful planet herself, stepping even further expanded. You'll see that it becomes the highway of light that connects all of existence within the density and the existences that do not hold density, within the corporeal and the non-corporeal. This is who we are. We are all of it. The dragons are all of it. They are reminding us of our multidimensional, multi-universal nature. When you continue to expand out, you'll see the connection of all the universal expressions. You'll see the great central sun, see, sense, know, feel, hear. The great central sun between universes, connecting all. The heart of source, as I like to call it. You'll see that spider web of light, that tapestry of light connecting all. And just bring our attention focus back to our horseshoe of dragons again. Our council of dragons. Thank you. They just corrected me. They are bringing through. We are part of the councils of light. So if you are experiencing yourself connecting with your councils of light frequently, there are dragons within that as well. So we have the dragon who Neil brought in his presentation, stepping forward. It would essentially be like what we consider ourselves with our guardian angelics. They have a similar vibe to them. And I'm seeing each and every one of them stepping forward for all of us. And they are wrapping themselves, their wings around us in this beautiful, beautiful dragon hug, for lack of a better way of describing it, embracing us in the pure unconditional love that they are and that we share with one another, reminding us of how deeply supported we are, reminding us of how much love is always available for us. And as we are connecting with them in this way, you might observe your chakras just light up. That is what is happening for me, for sure. In this connection, there is remembrance. There's activation of that deep soul knowingness and that deep remembrance. You can say, I am open to receive if you are ready and you are resonant. You can make requests from your high self to activate aspects of consciousness that exist within your soul and in your blueprint that haven't yet been activated in a conscious way. You can request for the information, the knowledge, the wisdom. The light is information, the light of your soul consciousness, your soul knowingness, what I like to call the high knowingness, to be downloaded about your connection with dragons. Ask for that information to come in as you are listening to the amazing, beautiful souls that will be presenting today. And in that, you can begin to bring your consciousness back to your body, back to your awareness in this now moment. Take a deep breath in, feel yourself anchor into your human with more expansion available to you, and open your eyes. I love you all. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this. Thank you, Neil and Flo. And I have a freebie that I'll be linking in the chat for, there's a step in, step out recorded workshop in the freebie for you guys to practice this whenever you want. There's also a free month in my premium membership of Ascension Catalyst, the unity community that I have founded that is so deeply amazing and interconnected, where we share all these types of experiences with each other in real time. And yeah, you can find my services there as well. As Neil has pointed out, I do love doing Beyond Quantum Healing Hypnosis. And Neil, I love you so much.
I love you. Thank you.
How
And
was that for you?
that was incredible. And you're still doing your I forgot the name of the platform now. The show that you're doing on what
Clubhouse?
is it? Clubhouse, yeah. Still that
Ascension Catalyst is sort of the main focal point right now, but Clubhouse is there. It's just they're in transition in a way that makes it really hard for people to find
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
So if you can find us on Awaken Ascending, absolutely. But you can also just come to Ascension Catalyst and hang out with us
Perfect.
there. Yeah.
Bridget, thank you so much. And
Thank
you
you.
said something. I just wanted to ask you this question before we close out. You really spoke about how we're supported, right? And
Mhm.
that's something coming huge with me in my life lately. Also knowing that I'm physically supported by actual people, right? I don't have to do it alone. And then we're supported by these realms. How do we get to a place where we know that we're supported by these realms and that we embody it? It's one thing to say it, but how do we like really embody that support?
It starts with self-love. Everything starts with us and is reflected out. So I love this question, Neil. It really does start with trust and love. And when we can release those walls around our hearts that we have built up, that's when our consciousness really expands. And that's when we can see that connection and that support from other beings that are on our soul team collective and one another. So it's all about coming into unity through that neutral love and above consciousness that is available in each and every one of us. So releasing those things, bringing them back into wholeness, all of those things that we have adopted and created that no longer serve us, really just setting them down, healing them, releasing them, allowing ourselves to be in a position of really noticing and observing how everything within our world has brought us in to where we are in this now moment, and just bringing it all back into the wholeness of our soul, really. And then communicating and connecting and recognizing support and love is obvious. It becomes more and more obvious. And you guys can do step in, step out as well, because that really helps you to get to know everyone on your soul team collective, and you'll start to feel that support and love. You'll start to trust your intuition, trust your divine knowingness, trust your support a lot more when you can recognize the different frequencies and energetics and how they come in for you.